Hey everybody, hope you're doing good. We're continuing our reading of the Quran, our annotation review. And before we get started, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alright, we're in the B, Surah 16. No, Nahl. Actually, I think we've left the... No, we're still in the B. Yeah, that's Nahl. Okay, so let's continue. We're on 42, okay? They are those who persevere in patience and put trust in their Lord. Again, very important, patience being emphasized. 45. Do then those who devise evil plots feel secure that Allah will not cause the earth to swallow them up, or that the wrath will not seize them from directions they little perceive? 47. Or that He may not call them to account by a process of slow wastage, for thy Lord is indeed full of kindness and mercy. By a process, a slow process at that. 53. And ye have no good things, but is from Allah. And moreover, when ye are touched by distress, unto Him ye cry with groans. Yet when He removes the distress from you, behold, some of you turn to other gods to join with their Lord. So, you cannot do that. It's just one and that's it. No Greek anything. 63. By Allah, we also sent our apostles to people before thee, but Satan made to the wicked their own acts seem alluring. He is also their patron today, but they shall have a most grievous penalty. A patron? Indeed, to some he really is a patron. 68. And thy Lord taught the bee to build its cells in hills, on trees, and in men's habitations. And 72, I just underlined, then believe in vain things. Will they then believe in vain things? So, vainness is something I really have gotten rid of to a huge degree. 73. And worship others than Allah, such as have no power of providing them for sustenance with anything in heavens or earth, and cannot possibly have such power. So, people who are worshipping things that obviously have no control over their lives. No crystals. I love collecting rocks, but I don't use them in rituals. Like, people think that certain crystals have a magical effect. You could argue that they have some type of ionization that interacts within the magnetic field or something, but it is not. So there's no like spirit in the crystal, right? I really just like looking at different rocks because they're very cool, and souvenirs from like different places. 88. Those who reject Allah and hinder men from the path of Allah, for them will we add penalty for that they used to spread mischief. Right? And the hindering is going to get extreme, I think, in the future. Yes, because the fact that our government is systematically keeping religious centers closed. They just had a huge march on Washington, which is fine if it wasn't during a plague, but there wasn't social distancing and not everyone was wearing masks. And there was thousands of people there, but they say, oh, you can't go to church, you cannot sing in church. If you open your churches, you will be arrested, and they're holding it down. But if you loot and riot, it's fine. I mean, it's the hypocrisy we're seeing in our country is astounding. Really, truly. It's wow. So the people who are hindering is usually there's a lot of left-wing people. A lot of atheists mocking, making fun of people for wanting to go to church, saying church isn't essential, but the liquor stores are open, right? So, there's that. 89. One day we shall raise from all peoples a witness against them, from amongst themselves, and we shall bring thee as a witness against these thy people. And we have sent down to thee the book explaining all things, a guide, a mercy, and glad tidings to Muslims. 90. Allah commands justice, the doing of good, and liberality to kith and kin, and He forbids all shameful deeds. Shameful deeds. See, if you say shame now, people are like, "Oh, you're a prude." But there should be shame for some actions, truly. And injustice and rebellion, He instructs you that ye may receive admonition. 91. Fulfill the covenant of Allah when ye have entered into it, and break not your oaths after ye have confirmed them. Exactly. Don't take it before you know you can live up to it and understand it. Indeed, ye have made Allah your surety, for Allah knoweth all that ye do. 93. If Allah so willed, He could make you all one people, but He leaves straying whom He pleases, and guides whom He pleases, but ye certainly will be called to account for all your actions. But ye shall certainly be called to account for it. You will, yeah, yes. 94. And take not your oaths to practice deception between yourselves, with the result that someone's foot may slip after it was firmly planted, and ye may have to taste the evil consequences of having hindered men from the path of Allah, and a mighty wrath descend on you. So you have a little bit of protection there, right? Some comfort in knowing that those people who are trying to really hinder you, well, guess what? There's something waiting for them, essentially. 96. What is with you must vanish. What is with Allah will endure, and we will certainly bestow on those who patiently persevere the reward according to the best of their actions. According to the best of our actions, so we better be doing our best if we want the best, right? Perseverance and patience. And notice this. What is with you must vanish. So don't grasp it. Don't hold on to it. Don't cling to it too much. Let it go. I feel like I've gotten better at that. 98, I just underlined Satan the rejected one. So, you notice a lot of people who like him, they are themselves rejects. They are themselves misfits. And they kind of find a grouping together because they reject decency, they reject morality, they reject order, they reject restraint, they indulge indulgence, right? They don't, when you're a hedonist, you reject few, but you reject what is good for what is convenient and fulfilling in the time. It's quite interesting. 100. His authority is over those only who take him as patron and who joins partners with Allah. 101. When we substitute one revelation for another, and Allah knows best what He reveals in stages, they say, Thou art but a forger, but most of them understand not. See, and again, understanding comes in stages. I've always really got angry with people who really want you to get something just right away. Some things you can get right away, and some things you're like, it's so cloudy, but with time there comes an increasement in understanding. 102. Say, the Holy Spirit has brought the revelation from thy Lord in truth, in order to strengthen those who believe, and as a guide and glad tidings to Muslims. Now, this one was something I had a lot of trouble with, because when they say Holy Spirit, it's confusing because it makes it sound like a separate entity, even though we know there's not a Trinity, right? So, I wonder in Arabic if they use a different word, because when somebody mentioned that to me once, I was like, you cannot say the Holy Spirit did it, because it makes it sound like God sent a spirit. I don't know. It gets confusing to me, that one. 106. Anyone who, after accepting faith in Allah, utters unbelief, except under compulsion, his heart remaining firm in faith, but says as open their breasts to unbelief, on them is wrath from Allah, and theirs will be a dreadful penalty. 109. Without doubt in the hereafter they will perish. The hereafter, it's hugely emphasized. And then 112. Allah sets forth a parable, a city enjoining security and quiet, abundantly supplied, with sustenance from every place. Yet was it ungrateful for the favors of Allah. I bet you, there's a lot of cities that do that. So Allah made taste of the hunger and terror and extremes, closing it on it like a garment from every side, because of the evil which his people wrought. This really reminds me of what's happening in California and New York. And in Portland. You know? Truly. Especially Chicago, too. I mean, New York is so dangerous right now. There was a woman who was assaulted intimately in public, and nobody helped her. They just filmed it, and they let the perpetrator walk away. And they have him on video, and he hasn't been arrested yet. They say they don't want cops. There was no cops to help them there, and no men helped her, and she didn't have a firearm because I guess over there it's very hard to get a concealed carry, and people act like they're so afraid of firearms for self-defense, and they think all they gotta do is look pretty and don't learn self-defense classes, and, well, the criminals, because there's not that much police, are running wild, and people are retreating in mass, and it's only going to get worse, and a lot of New York has been a place where a lot of debauchery has happened. A lot of financial crimes, just a lot of violence, a lot of gangs, a lot of drugs. It's a huge rat infestation. So, it was the financial place, Wall Street and such. But, man, the Creator is really making an example of the power capitals in the United States, how they are turning in on their own heads, upside down. Truly.